consult with them as well. And also, this is the opportunity to go further, and sometimes you start with the consultations and you can come to dialogue if sometimes the situation is like that, that you can use one mechanism and tend to go further if you see that you have the opportunity, you have the people in place, and you have the interested people who has the significant input that you can use. What is important for the monitoring is also, as we mentioned a few times, this to develop these mechanisms for feedback to the people who are, that you are consulting with. So if you want really to have like a consultation mechanism in place in the stage of monitoring, you need to think about that, how you will actually develop these feedback mechanisms and how you will share information not just related to some specific activity, but broadly how you will share the information about the processes with the people that you are consulting with. I would like just to mention these cross-cutting tools and mechanisms that you can use in each of these stages as e-participation, so different mechanisms and levels that you can use now as a new technology and to go further with that kind of activities. If you have enough knowledge about that, you can promote or you can be directly involved in that. All of activities, which means like a capacity building activities for participation, are also something that which might be, of course, like a cross-cutting, and you can use it in each of these stages. And if you are establishing all of this structure, as we mentioned, like a working groups, advisory boards, stakeholders groups, and that kind of mechanisms that you can use actually in all of its stages, and you can use it as a cross-cutting tools. Framework documents, which means also that it will give you actually possibility to have kind of agreement with some partners, with some other stakeholders, and give you the space to develop kind of participatory tools, but also to develop some kind of joint activities and to go further in sometimes in lobbying and sometimes in decision-making processes and so far. So I would like just to briefly give you some kind of examples of different tools that are used in some countries, just to, as a quick overview and to give you some possible ideas, maybe what is possible actually, how to organize kind of activities. And as we mentioned already, at the level of the European Union and in different countries, you have different mechanisms established. And you will also find more information in your material about the mechanisms established in different countries. We can say maybe that in England, in terms of these institutional mechanisms, that they really like established like a few different mechanisms which help to the organizing the civil society organizations and providing the significant input to their government. So beside of this framework agreement between the civil society and between the government in England, they have also different kind of bodies and different kind of direct actually bodies who are involved in cooperation, and they are actually promoting all level of participation of civil society organization within the government and together with the government in each of these stages. So they are really like a transparently talk about the monitoring of the budgeting and involvement on civil society organization in decision-making processes in a different level. So Compact is the name of the mechanism and structure in England, and you will find more information how they actually organize in your materials, how they organize their work in terms of that direct cooperation with the country. If we are talking about some other countries, for example, in Latvia, everywhere in the documents you can find them that they are a good example because they don't have a very long tradition of civil society participation in Latvia, and then they go like a step further. They are historical and all the cultural question and develop that kind again of framework for cooperation with the government, and now they are going further to develop kind of mechanisms as an offices, as an documents and partnership agreement which can help to the organization actually to be more involved in different processes. We mentioned yesterday the Croatia example as we know as a best example for this part of the world, because again, besides of the strategy for cooperation, besides of the office for cooperation, what I think that it's a really like a significant is are the efforts to have the influence of the office, to have the influence on the budgeting of different activities, and how actually this kind of office for cooperation with civil society can help for this IPA funding and to create some mechanism which will help to NGOs to gain and to have the resources to be an opportunity to apply for IPA funds. So in all of our countries, it's really like a huge problem that you as a NGO, you don't have that kind of resources available for your organization. So you can't be a partner to any institution if you, or to be the major applicant if you don't have that kind of resources. So it's the jeopardizing position from the very beginning, and it is not easy way to solve it actually at the country level. So I think that effort in Croatia also are very significant, and one of the area where civil society organizations actually lobbying a lot for that. So it is always important for civil society organizations to raise awareness constantly about different issues that you have to lobby, and that you have to actually put a pressure on the one side, on the decision maker, and on the other side to actually involve the people in different kind of activities which can pressure actually the decision makers. So we mentioned all of these phases yesterday as agenda setting and all of this, and sometimes it is more related like a national level when we are thinking. It's less related to sometimes the local level activities, and usually I know about the Serbia, but at the local level, sometimes we are more oriented on some implementation projects and to implement kind of direct activities more than on this policy level and how we can influence the local governance actually to involve different processes. The situation is changing a little bit now, but I think that 2 years ago it was completely like it was really like a small pressure for all of that. Some kind of different activities and some examples of good practices I would like to raise, like for example in Bulgaria, you have one excellent example of the anti-corruption program and lobbying for specific curricula, education curricula related to anti-corruption in Bulgarian universities and schools. It came as an idea from the research that in the Bulgaria the fifth on the list as a corrupted profession are teachers at the university level and in secondary schools. So that was from that point, from that research, actually, it started campaign and they started to organize actually the coalition around the issue and to try to lobby for different kind of activities that can actually change the situation there. Also, what was really like a precondition and very important for the activities that they actually implemented there were that one very high on the agenda of the Bulgarian government at that point was the fight against the corruption. So as one of the priority, they define it, and that was really like a important precondition for the coalition that was organized around that issue. So they started to lobby and to use different channels for that. They start to write the petitions, they start to organize different organizations, they start to organize the parents, and they start to talk about the different actors to help them actually to involve and to develop the completely new curricula in the schools, which means like anti-corruption, fighting against anti-corruption in the Bulgarian schools. So that was really like it was like a time for all of that, to organize it and to go. But then at the end, they started to pilot it, the completely new subject in schools, in 25 schools for the beginning, but completely new subject, and the module in the schools which raise that kind of question. And the next steps after that was to lobby the university actually to involve that kind of education for a teacher in their university level. So that was one of the good example of how you can pressure the government, but also it was the important what was the precondition. So one of the precondition was actually very important that at the national level that's set as a priority. So it was a good ground for other activities which can fit in the kind of a national priority. The other was the evidence